We often ask children a question that sounds simple, even harmless. What do you want to be when you grow up? Yet for many of us, that question quietly comes with expectations. Societal, familial, and sometimes even our own fears dressed up as practicality. Life, after all, has a way of pivoting. Paths shift, dreams evolve, and very few of us actually end up exactly where we thought we would. And that's why this conversation feels special. Anaya speaks with clarity that's rare, not because she believes that life won't change, but because she already understands her why. She wants to be an animal rehabilitator, and listening to her reminds us that purpose doesn't always come from certainty about the future. Sometimes it comes from compassion in the present. This isn't a conversation about locking into a career at a young age. It's about listening to curiosity, to values, and to the quiet confidence that can exist even in a child. And perhaps it's also an invitation for us as adults to rethink the question we ask and how we listen to the answer. Hello everyone, and welcome back to OATS Uncut, Orator Academy Talks Uncut, where our conversations are simple, real, honest, open, and mostly uncut. Today I have the pleasure of the company of a teenager, a very bright and promising teenager, and an inspiring one at that, Anaya. Anaya, welcome to OATS Uncut.
Hi, thank you for having me.
My pleasure. I'm so excited that you are here. From the first time when we had the conversation that we're going to have today, I was very intrigued and inspired. Now, would you like to share what the conversation was about?
Yeah, I want to be an animal rehabilitator when I grow up, which not many people know about the topic or the job and what it is.
And I really had no idea. So I was quite intrigued and impressed because first of all, at your age, most of the children don't know what they want to do.
Yeah.
So for you to have that clarity and that too for something that not too many people know of. You know, typically people say, oh, I want to be a doctor, a pilot, an engineer, a banker. But animal rehabilitator, what is an animal rehabilitator?
An animal rehabilitator is a type of vet almost, but instead of just working on dogs or cats or different types of pets, they work for different wildlife animals and they make sure that they're safe and they can go back into the wild in some cases. Like the turtles, and there's a lot of turtle different places. So they save and rescue the turtles and they then release them back into the water so they aren't injured and can't get more injured.
Very interesting. So how does it distinguish from being a vet?
A vet works mainly on different animals and different household animals, to be more specific, and they usually give the animals back to the owners, whereas animal rehabilitators can either put the animals in sanctuaries or release them back into the wild.
Interesting. So do you need to have qualifications of a vet to be an animal rehabilitator?
Yeah, definitely, because being a vet also has to do with some exotic animals like species of snakes and different insects and birds, which is pretty useful when you're an animal rehabilitator.
And it's habilitator, not habilitator.
Yeah.
Habilitator, because I've been saying it wrong. But you live and you learn.
Yeah.
Interesting. So how did this come about?
I've always wanted to be a vet since as long as I can remember.
And how did that happen?
I'm not 100% sure. I just remember loving animals since I was young and really little. And I just knew I wanted to be a vet, or at least something with animals. And I read a book series called Keeper of the Lost Cities. And I met these two characters who are actually animal rehabilitators. And I just fell in love with the job because it's kind of like a more in-depth version of a vet.
So that's also interesting, actually. The point to be noted here is that our choice of books, again, can also influence us to such an extent.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing. So we have to be very careful what books our children are reading.
Yeah.
It could be very dicey. So that's amazing. So approximately how old may you have been at that time?
I started reading the series when I was 8, but I think I knew I wanted to be an animal rehabilitator when I was maybe 10.
Okay. Do you know anybody who's in this profession?
Not really. I've seen like people online who are animal rehabilitators, but I don't know anyone who's actually an animal rehabilitator.
So that was going to be my next question. That okay, you read about this profession in a book. Do you know for sure it's real? It's not made up. All right. And typically, an Indian parent would want to know: does it pay well?
It does.
Yeah.
A lot of government funding too.
A lot of that's great. That's great. So, do you feel more drawn towards a few particular kinds of animals, or it doesn't matter? You generally.
I do definitely have a favorite animal, which is the tiger, but I love all animals in general.
Tiger, have you seen one?
Not in real life. I want to though.
Can I brag?
Yes.
I went and saw one last February.
That's really cool.
Actually, I saw two. I went to Tiger National Park in India, in Ranthambore. There was no chance. We had gone around. We had seen the same tiger, one tiger's child, adult child, and her name was Riddhi.
Oh wow.
So, and I was very fascinated that the tour guides could actually identify by looking at the tiger and by watching the tiger move, which one it was. And I asked him, I said, how do you know it's Riddhi? Oh no, because Riddhi and her mother Arrowhead had a fight in which I think Riddhi injured her leg, so she was limping. Oh. And they could watch so closely and know. So we saw Riddhi, of course, young adult. And then they said, oh, I think Arrowhead is also in the area. And they kept driving around. It was almost a 3-hour safari. And then we were all giving up. It was early morning. We had started at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, wow.
And it was, with the dew, it was a bit cold also. So we said, you know what, let's just go back.
Yeah.
So as we were coming out of the park, on the path that we were driving, there was no car ahead of us, no jeep ahead of us, no jeep behind us. Just us on the path, right in front of us. We are stopped by who? Arrowhead.
Oh, that's so cool.
I know. And Arrowhead, of course, was the mother, older.
Yeah.
So not very swift. So Arrowhead kept walking towards us. Like that. Very majestic. And our driver kept reversing slow and slow. And as he kept reversing, she kept walking. And we were just so impressed and so in awe. Yeah. And then after a while, I mean, she just kept coming towards us gently, kind of showcasing as if it was a good ramp walk.
Yeah.
And then the driver said, "Are you all done? Did you have enough of her? Can I just stop and let her walk off towards the jungle?" Because when he stopped reversing, she walked off the path.
Oh.
Yeah. But the saddest news is that I think in July or August, I heard she passed away.
Oh.
And she was known as the crocodile hunter. She was known as a fearless crocodile hunter. So this is also a tribute to her, Arrowhead. And she was called Arrowhead because she had 2 arrows marks on her forehead.
Oh.
It was fascinating.
Cool.
It was absolutely fascinating. The majesty of that animal is just something else.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah. So your favorite is tiger.
Yeah.
How?
I think they're really pretty and they're really cool too. They can pretty much find their target, but if they're making eye contact or can see the face of it, like predator or prey, they pretty much don't attack them because they pretty much, I guess, feel for them and they don't want them to know what's happening.
Ah, how cool is that?
Yeah.
But they're also very territorial. They go around marking their territory. So that's why the mother and daughter had a fight because Riddhi now wanted to take over the mother's territory.
Oh.
It was very interesting to know how the family dynamic plays out in animals.
Yeah, they have different dynamics than humans, a lot of them.
But again, it's so personal, right? Your fascination for tigers.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Somebody could find giraffes so unique with the long, beautiful legs. So an animal rehabilitator would take care of
all animals,
snakes too?
Yeah.
Ooh, slimy.
I personally think snakes aren't that bad. If they're venomous, they can be scary, but the other ones aren't that bad because you can put them to sleep, which definitely calms them down. And most of them won't attack you unless they feel that you will attack them or they're in the sense of danger.
Fascinating. I think that goes for anybody.
Yeah.
For us too, right?
Yeah.
We would not attack, I mean, hopefully.
Yeah.
But sometimes humans do, actually. Unprovoked also.
Yeah.
Oh, such as well. But now tell me, since we haven't met a person in this profession, they clearly don't live mainstream. Where do they live themselves?
Most of them live in areas that have a lot of different diverse animals. For example, Australia, or even like near the waters of California in different areas. But here there aren't too many like wild animals, and we have the Turtleback Zoo, which has a lot of them in there. So for the turtles,
it has a very cool collection of animals.
Yeah.
Now, talking about turtles, you know, the ginormous turtles that are also seen in South America. I remember we had gone to Belize, and they had those gigantic turtles you could see when you were snorkeling. And the guy who was leading the snorkeling group, as we went snorkeling with him, it was really nice to see Anaya. If he found a plastic floating, he would grab it, put it in his pocket.
Oh, that's so sweet.
He said, "I don't want the animal swallowing that." Any garbage that he found along the way, he would pick it up and put it in his pocket.
Yeah.
It was just so heartening to see that. Why can't we always live like that, right?
It's so sad because there's always different animals like fishes or turtles or sharks or a lot of marine animals. They get stuck in all the plastic that we've polluted the ocean with, or different oil spills too. They could get extremely injured, and many populations die because of that too.
That's right, that's right. So what is the coolest story that you may have come across in this profession that somebody has done?
I haven't come across too many, but I've definitely seen people who have rescued dozens of turtles, and when they have like their release parties and they bring it back into the ocean, I think that's so heartwarming because you see the turtles going back home.
So when there was an oil spill in the ocean and all these animals or ducks or these birds of the ocean were all covered in grease and they were taken away, they were washed and cleaned and then released.
Yeah.
So that would be the job of an animal rehabilitator?
That, and also helping the injured animals. For example, if a whale washed up with like a broken fin or a cut on their fin, they would take care of the whale until it was properly healed and safe to return to the ocean.
Wow.
Yeah.
So as you aspire to be an animal rehabilitator, what experience you wish you will get to have?
I definitely want to study bio at Cornell. I feel like they have a very good bio program, and I think that would also help. And I definitely want to shadow with the vet so I know how to treat different animals without having to learn that much all crammed together, because I know a lot of med school students have to learn everything at once, and that's a lot to do, especially with exams together. So. Wow.
So are you looking for somebody in the area that you could shadow or intern?
I was, but you have to be at least 14. So I want to volunteer at the Turtleback Zoo over the summer. So, because when you turn 14, you can volunteer there. So I'm going to try and volunteer there.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah.
That would be, well, you know what? Our world needs people who can give love and nurture other species, not just ourselves, not just our own kind, but the other species too.
Yeah.
So as you pursue this path for this profession, is there a word of request or message that you'd like to convey to our audience?
Definitely to care more about the animals, because I know many people go and say save the turtles or save the fish or many different animals, but they don't actually do what they've been saying. So when people say stop using plastic, but then continue to use more and more plastic, that definitely impacts the world.
That's very well said, because I think that's my observation and biggest gripe with our kind is, I say our kind, the humankind, is that we don't walk the talk.
Yeah.
We say the right things. We don't necessarily do the right things.
Yeah.
It's very heartbreaking. Well, is there anything else that I may have missed asking you that you'd like to add?
Not that I can
I
think
think we've covered everything.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming today and for sharing your love and passion for a job that was unaware, at least I was unaware of. And I'm sure many people may have learned a bit about.
Yeah.
And hopefully this world will have more people who can pursue passions off the beaten path like this, that is for the general good of, for all kinds, all species.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's my pleasure, Anaya. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, hope that you have been inspired by this young lady and her choice of profession as she grows older. Because when we ask a young child what they want to be, first of all, most of the times, they don't really know what they want to be. And the question is also rather premature. Because when we look back, how many paths that we thought we'd go on, we didn't. We chose different paths. We went along with the flow sometimes. So for us to ask and expect the child what you want to be when you're older, I think is more like picking their brains as to where is their thought process leading them to. And knowing this about this young lady was actually quite enlightening and inspiring. Thank you for watching OATS Uncut. Be human, stay human, love and nurture and care for each other and other species. We shall meet again. Take care.
Thank you.